Things are not clicking really well right now. Oh, Rex egg. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm up in my attic because I want to show you something. Ta-da! I've come up with kind of an interesting idea. I got tired of collecting resources. I got tired of having to run them into the house, whether it's even through this door over here that was really close, or the far door. So I've decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kind of open up the storage in such a way that you can access it from the inside and you can access it from the outside. And ooh, turn off some of that bloom quality. Oh, I can actually see. And I have overflow over here on this side, so, you know, this is a stone where I unload stone from the animals, and then I put overflow over here. And I've already filled up the main one. No, I filled up the overflow, because as soon as the main one fills up, I move it over. So I filled up the overflow, and now I have the main almost filled up with stone. So I want to repeat those things for the other resources. But while I was doing that, you know, I thought it'd be great to be able to pull them right up here, park them, unload them. And then I started thinking, you know what? Having the overflow over here is kind of silly, because if I'm unloading resources from a dino and I have more than will fit in one cabinet, I have to come in here first and transfer, and then I have to go back out there. So I thought, you know what? It'd be kind of nice if I could double stack these things. You know, I could also go vaults, the route of vaults, but you know, that's a lot of expense, and vaults are really great for PvP. They're not really, there's not much point PvE. You can, you know, for the same amount of space, you can pretty much fit the same amount, I think, in these, especially if you double stack them. So in order to double stack, I'm going to have to get rid of these walls, which I've been doing, and I also had to change the attic and change it to another style. So what I've done, there we go, that's good enough, is, let me run up into the attic here on these middle ramps, is I've basically decided that we're going to continue to keep the slope up here, but then we're going to go straight out here and then kind of drop off and then open up this floor here to have basically the right above the storage chest is going to go up 2 stories or 4 walls is what I'm getting at, basically. So if I put a couple more walls in here and then I put some walls along here and I get rid of these ceilings here, you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to play with that idea and try to get that to work. And in order to double stack chests, though, you can't just put a chest on top of a chest. You have to put a chest on top of what people have been doing, and what seems to work is catwalks, either wooden or metal catwalks across above the first layer of chests, and then you put more on top of those, and then you can reach both from the ground. Sometimes you might have to, you know, hop up and engage the box to get to it, which would be a problem offloading from a dino. So I'm hoping we can get, you know, position these just so that I don't have to do that, but we'll see what happens. I might even have to drop these down ground level or make the offloading ramp here 1 level higher, 1 foundation higher, so that I could get to both easily. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, definitely. And I might widen this a bit to make it an actual offloading area that's a couple of foundations wide that you walk the dinos up. So we'll see what happens there. Now, another thing I wanted to do was, and I've got this chair here, and they've announced that they're going to eventually allow you to sit in them, so I'm very happy about that. But I also want to do a to-do list, because I got a lot of things that I want to do, and I think one way we can do the to-do list is to have a bookshelf and fill it with notes, things that we want to do. So I'm going to take actually all of these out of here and stick them all in here. Uh-oh. Actually, I'll stick all compatible items in there, which should just be blueprints. Good. So I'm going to use this green one here as my kind of to-do list, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use notes. Very rarely ever use notes. But I'm going to learn that engram. I can double-click on that now. I need to keep remembering that. And if I go to notes here, I need thatch and fiber for that. A whole bunch of thatch and fiber. Well, I got a whole bunch of thatch and fibers. That's not a problem. Okay, so how many of these notes can I construct? Because what I'm going to do is I don't need 77. I don't think I have 77 things I know to do ahead of time. We'll make like 20 of them, and I don't want to put a note on every one of them right now. Stop that. Why is it prompting me? Stop that. But I've constructed a bunch, and I'm going to stick them in here. And on each one of these, I'm going to put an item of something I want to do. For instance, Do I have to take it out to put the node on it? I think I do. I do use on it. Yeah, there it is. And I think I can put a note in here on each of these items, like, for instance, create new dino unloading dock, which is what I'm on right now. So that would be the first item I do. Another item that I want to do, and you can just hover over these and see what the node is, which is really cool. I don't think I can actually change them in here, right? No, there's no way to change them in there. I have to take them out and use them in order to change them. The other one, obviously, is I want to collect remaining artifacts, right, for a boss battle. Something I've talked about. And I've got a few other things in my notes, so let me go off and create a whole bunch of things for my to-do list, and I'll show you what the to-do list is. I'll show you what the to-do list is when I'm done. Okay, and we're back, and I did a bunch of notes. I hope if I opened up the right inventory. And my to-do list right now, from what I can gather, I'm sure I'm going to add things as I go along, and I'll share them with you from time to time. I'm going to create this new dino unloading dock. We talked about that. That's kind of our objective for this episode. We're also going to collect the remaining artifacts for the boss battle. I think we have 3 more caves to go through. We're going to get to level 80 and make that platform for Birdie so we can have that awesome flying platform, which is going to be just incredible. We're going to fight the Broodmother. We're going to reset our engram points and stats at some point and reapply. There is a new brew that you can make that basically wipes your memory and basically gives you back all your engram points and all your levels to respend. And I think I'm going to do that because I think I want to play around with giving myself more fortitude. Especially here where I transition from cold to hot a lot. I hate having to change armor constantly, so I want to do that. Also, I want to make dino trackers for my key dinos, including Nightmare, in case they get lost, I'll be able to find them. I want to tame a pair of saber-toothed tigers. I've got the dogs, now I want the cats. And I want to make scuba gear and build something underwater. I'm thinking of going to that underwater cave that's near here and maybe kind of experimenting with putting some sort of forges or things in there, so we'll see how that goes. I want to redo Coltrane's platform that he's got out there. That's the Parasaur that we have. It's currently made out of wood. I want to make it out of stone. The reason I want to do that is because if I ever get into any kind of a fight out there, any enemy attacking can destroy wood stuff very easily. So I think I want to make it out of stone, and I want to put the storage cabinets indoors, basically put stone walls protecting them so that it'll be harder for anything fighting with Coltrane to destroy them. I want to find a George II. I've talked about that, so that's on my to-do list. And the last one, I have no idea, so I just left it blank, and I'll pull it out when I have something to do. Now, I made a middle catwalk. The reason I made a middle catwalk is not because I like middle so much. I mean, it's cool, but I actually don't have the engram learned for a wooden catwalk, and at this point, I don't really want to spend any engram points because I have so few left. So I had a blueprint for middle, so I went ahead and tried. Now, the problem with this is I was hoping there would be some place we could put the catwalk that was just a little above these cabinets, but you can't. The next level you can put it at is pretty much right here, which is at the ceiling level. So if that's the case, what I'm going to do, I believe, is I'm going to blow away these ceilings that are above these cabinets and just replace them with catwalks so that I can get to them more easily. So let's head on up there into the attic. And this way I could get to the resources that are on the top here from above or below. And of course I fell. Oh, I should have landed on top of the... Yeah, I can do it from down here anyway. It doesn't really matter. Let's do it from down here. That way I can get to the cabinets from inside or outside the building is what I meant to say. So even when I'm inside, I can get to them. So let's take this one catwalk I made just as a kind of a test. And yep, you see how it's letting me put it right above there? Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to jump in order to access any of the cabinets that are on top of it. In fact, let's experiment right now. Let's go ahead and make one. Make a cabinet and see what happens. Storage. Storage. There it is. 50 wood, 35 hatch, 35 hatch, 35 hatch, 35 thatch. Someday I'll be able to speak. And fiber. And I need more thatch. There we go. Wow, it just doesn't want to drag things right now. Interesting. Okay. Storage cabinets. I'm going to need a bunch anyway, so let's just make 4. and start placing one of them. At least I thought no, I guess I must not have clicked that. Yeah, things are not clicking really well right now. Oh, Rex egg. Rex egg. It didn't come at the beginning of the recording this time, but it came during the recording. That always happens. Any other cool eggs out there? No. All right. Drop this off. Head on up to the top. Do. And let's lay our storage cabinets. There it is. What do you mean I can't? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can place it there. But the problem is, I think I can. Yeah, there we go. I think I can safely walk onto here, and I can. Okay. It's about right. Click. Oh, wow. There's some serious lag going on right now, and I'm on single player, so that's kind of scary. It's kind of spooky scary. All right. So unfortunately, that means in order to get into the top one, I'm going to have to jump, which is bad for me for unloading. So I think, like I said, I'm going to build this up to another level. So there's another foundation level here, so I don't have to jump to get to that. But indoors, if I ever wanted it, I would have to jump to it, which is fine. I can live with it. Oops, pardon me. Hello. Okay. Right. Well, maybe it's not going to be as easy to get to those as I thought from inside. Maybe I have to rethink this. Well, with this road down here gone, I might be able to build a simple ramp up to another level up there to get to them from the inside. So anyway, the objective is to get rid of this row of chests so that I have more space here, and maybe I'll just build a ramp up there so that I can get to that stuff better. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I'm going to lay more catwalks across, lay more chests up there, move some inventory up there, and try to work on the dino platform out there, and I'll be back in a moment and show you what I've got. Okay, everybody, and welcome back. And I've decided to change. I keep hitting these little roadblocks and keep changing things. I've added a new door here. I've gotten rid of the blue blueprints bookcase so I could add that door. Although now I didn't need to do that because I've expanded out this direction as well. Anyway, a long, complicated story. I'll probably replace that bookshelf and move that door at some point. But as I put this in, I put 3 of these catwalks and put those chests up there, and realized that, as I said, it was kind of hard to reach from in here. In fact, it's impossible pretty much to reach from in here. All you can do is set the pin on them. So I initially had a row of ceilings coming out here and a ramp going up here so that I could be up at this level and deal with those. And it was great, except that it was really crowded and cramped in here. And then I realized it was going to be hard to offload the dinos from this side. And in the whole process, I came to the realization that because I had that wall open so I could access these things, I wasn't getting the home insulation benefits in here. It wasn't treating this as a home, just like it isn't right now, because that wall's gone. But it's not treating it as a home, so I need to enclose the storage, which I'm in the process of doing right now. I'm basically building out 2 more foundations and enclosing here, and I'm going to put a ramp here. As you see, there's one ceiling here, and then I'm going to build a couple more ceilings back, put a ramp going up there so that I can access both levels of storage at the same time. Then I'm going to have a door here. There's already a door there. And basically, I'll be able to bring the dinos up here, offload, and go straight up like that. It's not going to be right next to the dino, sadly. The other option is, of course, I could put the storage outside. And there's no reason it has to be inside the house. I could always just build up a wall right here, basically, and cut off the house here and make all of this the house and all of that storage. And I thought about that, too. And who knows, I might actually decide to do that, but I kind of like the idea of keeping storage in the house, but we'll see how it goes. If it's too much of a hassle to offload, this far, if I'm doing stone and wood, I'll probably pull up to this door. If I'm doing something back here, I'll pull up to this door. If it's too much effort, I might just put a wall up here and put this all outside, and then have this ramp and this walkway here, and then basically get rid of these foundations here and make this the drive-up area so that you can get to the stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, in order to do that, I need to make a get a whole heck of a lot more resources. I need a lot of wood right now, currently, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to show you guys some resource collecting techniques that I have developed over the years. What I do over the years, over the days, I guess, or weeks of that ARK has been out, or months, I guess. One thing I do is I lead with whatever dino is doing the collecting. I need wood, so I'm taking Fuzzy the mammoth out. And so she's my... Is it a she? Yeah, she's my lead. And then I put my heavy carriers, which are usually my trikes. My trikes are... I just basically pump weight on these guys. That's pretty much all they do is lug stuff around. I'm also going to bring Coltrane out, because Coltrane has pretty high weight as well. And the first thing you do is you set up a train, an actual train, resource train. That's what I do. I make sure they're all neutral, so they can all defend themselves if they need to. I'm going to be on Fuzzy in the lead, so I can do any attacking of anything that comes along, but I want the others to be able to defend themselves. And what you do is you basically tell each one to follow the one behind it, or the one behind it to follow it, I guess. So you just basically jump on this one back here, which is what, Chiana? No, Dargo. Dargo to tell Coltrane to follow Dargo, tell Dargo to follow Chiana. And finally, we get on Fuzzy and tell Fuzzy, no, we tell Chiana to follow Fuzzy, and now we set out. And if you look behind, you'll see our train is moving along just fine. The reason I do it this way, definitely with a train with one link following the next link, is if I had them all follow me right now, they'd all be bunched up right behind me, and they'd be getting into each other's faces and making it hard to move. It just works better this way when you have one following the other. So then with whatever dino's collecting the resources, I go ahead and collect a bunch of resources, and then when I get to the point where it's the collecting dino is full, whether it's the Odicarus steel or if it's, in this case, Fuzzy the mammoth, once Fuzzy's full, I then go through, and I get rid of things I don't need, seeds and that sort of thing. But then when I have wood I need to get rid of, I just jump off Fuzzy, and one at a time go back and load up the weight carriers. And I usually go out, if you notice, with nothing. I mean, I've got my armor on, I've got resource gathering tools, and I've got a pike, and that's pretty much it. I got a little meat and stuff too, and some water just in case I need it. But I go out with a lot of stuff off me so that I can basically, more importantly, it's not just that I can load stuff up and carry a lot of weight, but more it's so that I can click things like transfer all items, and just in a couple of clicks put everything that I was pulled off the lead dino into the weight-bearing dino and move on. I just repeat that process. As soon as Chiana's filled up, I go back and fill up Dargo. As soon as Dargo's filled up, I go back and fill up Coltrane, and then I make sure that Fuzzy has one more load filled up, and then I head back. And that's when I unload. So that's how I do resource gathering. I don't know how other people do it, but it seems to work pretty well for me to do that. I get massive amounts, usually at least one full chest, large storage chest, maybe even 1.5, 2, depending upon the dinos I'm taking out, what resources I'm gathering, but it works pretty well. So I'm going to go gather a whole bunch of wood and go back and do some more of that construction, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, welcome back. And so I went out and gathered a whole bunch of resources, finished gathering the wood, got some more stone as well, and was able to complete this. And now my building looks kind of interesting shape, kind of a slope on the side. Architecturally, maybe I'll improve it later, but so this is the side, the loading dock side, and the loading dock isn't exactly what I had in mind. I kind of had in mind bringing the animal right up next to the thing, so I'm still going to be bringing them a little distance from them and running back and forth, but not that far, not as far as I was before if I was unloading from the other side. So it's a bit of an improvement. Now let me, obviously I've got a 4 tall ladder up to the roof now. I've got a bigger landing pad for birds and a couple of extra doors, and it's a little crowded in here, but you can move through just fine. It's not a problem. But there's now I put a ramp here to get up to the attic, so the attic can be accessed from the ground. Interestingly enough, when I'm in the attic, it still says I'm not in a house. I don't see any gaps. I mean, forget the light gaps. Those have always been in ARK. It's just a lighting occlusion problem. But when I slope down here, I'm in a house. You notice the icon on the extreme right middle of the screen there. I'm in a house. So I'm getting the thermal protections, and I don't get rain in here. But as soon as I go up top, boom, it goes away. Very strange. I don't know what the difference is or why it works that way, but okay. So now we can get to the bottom easily enough, and if we're up here, we can get to the bottom and the top just fine for doing crafting work and that sort of thing. And we can get to the bottom ones from the other side over here. I don't think I'm going to put another ramp over here, but I might. I might put another ramp and a set of ceilings over here so that from this side you can get to both too pretty quickly. Mortar and pestle, I might move that and move it with the others over there just to, you know, have not just one sitting right there, but whatever. The blueprints, the regular old blueprints are in here now, including ingredients and everything miscellaneous basically. In red I have armor and weapons, anything that's armor or weapon related. In green I have saddles, all the different kinds of saddles that I've picked up. And then in yellow I have my to-do list, and actually let's find the to-do list for, there it is. And there's no way to erase these or reuse them that I've ever discovered, because there's no use anymore, so I think you just have to drop them, which is sad, but they're easy to make. It didn't cost much, so that one's off the to-do list. I want to sit on this chair. They still haven't released that. Hopefully soon. So anyway, that's the work. I went ahead and painted everything the same scheme as before. I now have a door back here, which is nice. I didn't have one in the back before. I like that. And also a really cool feature, I just found it kind of cool, is up here I can, you know, look out this window and I can see Poops McGee, and I can see the dolphins, and it's kind of cool, kind of fun. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Can't think of anything else to talk about in this episode, guys. I think I'm going to head back to the caves again, because I remember one of my objectives, one of my to-do lists is to level up to level 80 so I can build that platform saddle for our birdie. And by the way, if you've noticed in some of the scenes when I've been moving back and forth, that four-sided behemoth gate over there, now that's Birdie. Birdie, without a platform and you to control the Quetzals, they kind of land wherever they want. And so Birdie landed over there, and instead of trying to play with her and try to get her to land over here somewhere, I said, well, screw it. I'll just build 4 behemoth gates around her. And I did that. It's a good thing I did, because soon after that I saw a T-Rex nosing around and some other things over there. So she's in there. She's just chilling, waiting for the platform, which I will get to because I'm only at level 76 right now and nowhere near getting up to 80. But I'm going to keep trying. And I'll get there eventually. And so anyway, appreciate you guys watching, peeking out from underneath my hat. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.